Hey everyone, welcome to Chapter 2 as we start with translating sentences into equations. Now here's a hint with these sentences. Go ahead and read them through the first time. Don't write anything else down. Think about them a little bit and then go back through, read them, and see what you can piece together. So number 1, 6 times the sum of a number and 4 is 12. Well, I know that this 6 times means something, so I'm going to put 6 and then times. Now what does the sum of a number and 4 mean? The sum of the number and 4. Sum means to add a number, let's just call n, and 4, the number 4, so I'm going to rewrite this as n plus 4 because it's the sum. Right here's my sum, number is n, 4. And now what does is mean in math? Is means the equal sign and is 12. So now let's put that all together. When we rewrite the problem, we have to go 6 times, and now we have to put this n plus 4 in parentheses because it's 6 times the sum. If we did not have the parentheses, it would not be 6 times the sum, it would be 6 times a number equals 12. Again, let's do the same thing with number 2. Read the problem first, and then go back through the problem and see what you can piece together. The square of g is the same as 2 times the difference of g and 10. So here we have the square of g. So what's that mean? That means it's g squared is, in math, means equal as 2 times the difference. What does 2 times mean? Again, it means 2 times something, and then the difference of g and 10. What does difference mean in math? Difference means subtraction, and so we have g minus 10, and we have to remember our 2 times. So something like that as I close up that last parenthesis. And now let's make it all nice and pretty. So we have g squared, the equal from the is, 2 times the difference of g and 10. Guys, and take a peek. If I had 2 times g minus 10, this is 2 times g minus 10, which is not what we're looking for. This is, right here, is 2 times the difference of g and 10. This is what we're looking for, not 2 times g minus 10. Now, let's translate the equation into a verbal expression. So here we look at number 3. I have 3 times what? And I'm going to type it here for us. 3 times, and what am I doing right here? I am adding. Well, what is adding in math? What is that big word? It is sum, so it's 3 times the sum of, what am I adding together? G and 8 is, or you could say equals, and 45. Next, next we are asked to solve each equation. So now with number 4 we have -6 plus t equals -12. We are always trying to get the variable by itself. We want to perform the opposite operation to t to get the variable all by itself. So here we have a -6 added to t. Well, what is the opposite of -6? The opposite of -6 is a +6. So we want to add that over to the other side. And then we bring down our t. And t equals, and then we have -12 plus 6. What is -12 plus 6? Our -12 is bigger than our +6. So we have t equals -6 for our final answer. Next, with number 5, we have 1/4 n equals 4. How is this 1/4 attached to the n? It is attached through multiplication. How do we undo multiplication? We have to divide by that 1/4. We divide by 1/4 on each side. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So here now, we are left with just an n, and then 4 divided by 1/4 is 16. Let's look at some little bit more difficult problems with 6. Now we have a two-step problem. We have to again get k by itself, but we cannot touch this 2k until everything is away from the 2k. So we want to first start off with this -8. How do I get the -8 to the other side? We have to add the 8 here and then add it to the other side. All right, we are performing the opposite operation of that -8. Always look at the sign to the left. Again, always look at the sign to the left. So we add the 8 to the other side. We get 22 equals, and also bring down everything else that you did not change, right? That -2, bring the whole -2 down with it, -2k. Now what is attached to the k? The -2. So how do you get rid of the -2? You have to divide. So I divide by -2, bring down the k, and so now I have 22 divided by -2 is -11 for my final answer. 7 gets a little bit more trickier. Now we cannot touch this r until the 4 and the 3 is away from the r. Well, I can't touch the r and the 4 because it is being divided right now by 3. This 3 belongs to the 4 and the r. What is it doing to the top? It is dividing. So how do you undo division? You have to multiply. So we multiply by 3, and what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So when we multiply by 3, right, when we were dividing and now we're multiplying by 3, it undoes those 2 3's, and now we're left with r plus 4 equals, and then 3 times 7 is 21. Now we can go ahead and get rid of this 4. How do you undo addition? You have to subtract 4 from both sides, and now bring down the r again. Gone. 21 minus 4 is 17 for your final answer. And now guys, when we have these two problems, or when we have some two-step problems, this is how I want you to show your work. If you want to work from left to right, that's fine, but I do need to see your work on two-step or solving equations. Let's try some more. Number 8. Now, the first thing we have to do, again, we cannot touch this b yet. What we have to do is distribute. We have to use the distributive property of what we learned a couple days ago. So now with this -2 goes to the b, so it's -2b plus, and remember it's -2 times a -3, so it's going to be a +6. Bring down our -4 equals 18. Next step, combine all your like terms. So I'm going to combine these two guys because they're my like terms. So it is +2, 6 minus 4 is 2. Bring down everything else that you don't use, -2b equals 18. Next, I have to subtract the 2 because I'm trying to get this 2b all by itself. So what I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. Bring down what I did not touch, so I'm bringing down the -2b equals 18 minus 2, 16. And then my last step, how is this -2 attached to the b? It is being multiplied, so I have to divide by -2. So what you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So I have b equals 16 divided by -2 is -8. Now with number 9, notice that I have j's on both sides. If that happens, we want to get the j's, or the variables, to the same side. And now I just like undoing subtraction. I don't know why, it's just one of my favorite things to do. So I'm going to start with this -3j. How do I move this 3j to the other side? Well, I have to add it. I have to take the opposite sign to the left, so I'm adding it. I'm adding 3j to the right side, and I go across the equal sign, and I'm adding it to the left side. Bring everything else down below the line. We have 21 plus 6j equals 9. Next step, again, we want to save the 6j for the end, so now we want to subtract 21 from both sides. What you do one side, you have to do the other. This is gone. Bring down what we didn't touch, and that is a positive 6j equals, and now 9 minus 21 is a negative 12. And then 6j equals negative 12. How do we undo multiplication? We have to divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by 6. And so now it's j equals, and negative divided by a positive is negative, so it's negative 2. Now we haven't covered just one thing. How do we check our work? Now here's the great thing about math. We can check a lot of the things that we do in algebra. So with number 9, I'm going to go ahead and check number 9. We came up with negative 2. How do you check your work? You plug that negative 2 in wherever you see a j. So I'm going to plug it in here, and I'm going to plug it in there. And let's see if I have enough room so I complete this. So we have 21 plus 3 times negative 2 equals 9 minus 3 times negative 2. Do your multiplication. We have 21 minus 6 equals 9 minus, and that's actually going to be a plus because it's a negative times a negative, which is 6. Here we have 15, and 9 plus 6 is 15. So does 15 equal 15? Absolutely. So therefore we did find the right answer. If we would have found the wrong answer, it would have been 15 equals 4, or 15 equals 3, or 5 equals 2. The numbers wouldn't have matched. But since the numbers match, we know we found the right number. So thanks for listening. Have a great rest of your day.